Hello. Welcome to 2025. Happy New Year. The first episode of potentially 52 episodes for 2025 with Portland Startup News. I'm pretty excited about the Portland startup community and where it is right now because if I'm being honest, I've seen this 3 or 4 times before and I like where we are. Like I've been through this cycle several times. I like where we are in the cycle. We're kind of coming out of the doldrums. We've got some good momentum. There's some interesting stuff happening. We have serial founders working on companies. A lot of elements coming together that, they're not exactly the same elements I've seen in the past, but thematically, this is feeling incredibly familiar in a very, very positive way. So, if you're in the Portland startup community, I sat down before New Year's, like back in past Rick, 2024, Rick, sat down and recorded something for you for 2025, which was really designed to be this kind of high level primer. Portland Startup Community 101. I was just talking about the basics and the things and stuff you might be interested in, and wound up sitting there jabbering for like 40 minutes on all the things and the stuff. And that wasn't even the deep dive. There's access to a deeper dive on that kind of thing. But if you're interested in getting more engaged in the Portland startup community, if you're new to town, if you've just decided you want to try a startup, maybe you just decided you like hanging out with startup types and you want to be around more of them. This primer is designed to help you. I will link it up so you have access to it. Please take the time to go through that. It'll point you in a bunch of right directions, from events to online tools like the Portland Startup Slack that will help you get more engaged with the community, help you start 2025 off on the right foot, and hopefully wind up with us running into one another here sometime soon in the Portland startup community. At the end of 2024, I was like, oh please, I would really like fake internet points. I would like to get to 600 subscribers. And because of you kind and giving people clicking on the subscribe button, I was able to achieve that fake internet point milestone. If you subscribed out of the goodness of your heart and this isn't really your jam, I totally get it. It's fine. Feel free to unsubscribe. Thank you for subscribing in the first place. Really appreciate you helping me achieve what was important to me and what was a goal for me in 2024. But this is a whole new year. I need to set new goals, new fake internet point milestones, and all that kind of things. So if you don't like this content, if you're like, I don't want more of that content in my stream, totally understand if you unsubscribe. But that being said, if you're new here and you do like it and do want to give it a chance, please subscribe. Not a very heavy news week, but there were still some things coming up that I wanted to make sure we covered. Like I've talked about before, if you're working on a drone startup, please get your application in for the Oregon UAS Accelerator program. Those are due on Monday, January 6th. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can get money, you can get mentorship, you get the opportunity to come to Pendleton, fly your drones there, or test drive your software there, or what have you. So please, if you're working in drones, this is world class, one of the best programs on earth for people building drones, and it's right here in Oregon. So whether you're building drones in Oregon or elsewhere, we would love to have you as part of the next cohort. Would love to see what you're building and watch you be successful right here in Oregon. Get those applications in, please. Another thing that's coming up really quickly kind of came together at the last minute, like startup events do. But Wednesday, January 8th, Matt Ellis will be joining Dave Barkos for Startup Conversations in the Couve, which is a regular series of really interesting individuals that Dave brings to the stage. One of the things I absolutely love about Startup Conversations in the Couve, I mean, apart from all the awesome folks who take the time to share their stories with you and have those conversations, is that it takes place in the morning. So if you're in a situation where you're like, I can't do the evening events, I don't want to do the evening events, this is a morning event in Vancouver that can potentially be more accessible to you. The other thing that makes it way more accessible is they often record these events and then post them to YouTube. So when that happens, I will link that up and share that as best I can, especially this week, because this one near and dear to my heart. Matt Ellis, the founder of Cloudability, who is now working on a company called 60 AI. He founded that one as well. But Matt Ellis just has been a quintessential part of the Portland startup community for easily the last 15 years, had a successful exit, really kind of paid it forward, paid it back to the community by being an angel investor, by supporting organizations, by sponsoring events. He's just been an incredible give first steward of the ethos we would like to see in the Portland startup community. And besides that, he's got tons of interesting stories and a really charming British accent. So what could be better? What could be a better way to spend your Wednesday, January 8th morning than listening to Matt Ellis wax poetic about the life of a founder in a British accent? Nothing better. That's what I say. So I don't know if there's still room, but if there is, please sign up for Startup Conversations in the Couve. Make sure and join the meetup group so you get their information, and you'll get a lot more opportunities to meet really interesting founders like Matt Ellis on a monthly basis as they kind of pull folks together to share their startup journeys. Speaking of startup journeys, that's an awful segue. Speaking of events that are coming up quickly, January 14th, it's Tuesday, second Tuesday of January. I know I've been pushing this a lot, but I'm pretty, I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, if not shocked, the number of folks who seem to be interested in joining this event and hanging out. I've received feedback, critical feedback as well, about the event and the format and those kind of things. And that's all good too. Like, everything is good. Like, yeah, I'm test driving things with Pi, trying to get Pi back more involved with the startup community because, I took a year away and kind of sat on the sidelines and watched what was happening and tried to be helpful and all those kind of things. And I was like, oh, here's an opportunity for Pi to engage in 2025. This is the first experiment in that regard, and it's just a big community networking event. How big, you might ask? Well, there are tons of partners who've stepped up to say, yeah, we want to be part of that. We want to bring the community together too. We want to bring our communities together with these other communities. Just a whole bunch of really supportive organizations that are joining forces to bring this together. On the main RSVP page, we were in the 350 range last I checked, and continuing to kind of tick up. But we've also got some partners who are running their own RSVP lists, that may not overlap with the main RSVP list. So just hazarding a guess, 425 RSVPs currently, and growing every day. And we've still got, we're more than a week out. Who knows how many RSVPs we get to? Of course, this is Portland. And if you didn't hear my little rant diatribe on Portland RSVPs, they can be a little iffy. So are there going to be 425 people there? Probably not. Are there going to be hundreds of people there? Maybe, probably. I mean, either way, even if you just show up and it's just you and me kind of standing in the room chatting with one another, that could be valuable, right? So if it sounds interesting to you, I highly encourage you to join us on January 14th. It's at the Evergreen in Southeast Portland on Alder Street. And it should just be a good gathering, just a good excuse to get people together, chat with one another, meet some random people from the Portland startup community, and start your year off on the right foot. Already working on the February event for Pi and the startup community, working with a couple partners in that regard. Super excited about the format for that one, just searching for a location, and we have a couple potentials. So I feel like we're good there. We will get there on the location, but just have to finalize that stuff. And then I will announce the February Pi Portland startup community event. Different format, not just networking. This one will probably be more a people talking to the audience kind of event. So stay tuned. If you can't make the January event, at least sign up for the Pi meetup group so that we can keep you informed about events as they continue to develop over the coming months. Already have the concept for the March event, just need to start programming it. So stuff's happening, and stuff will happen independent of the meetup group and the larger gatherings, because that's been part of the feedback is, hey, we need more intimate gatherings. We need more curated opportunities for us to get together with like-minded folks or peers who could be helpful, and that can't always happen on a large-scale format. So not to reveal too much behind the scenes, but that's kind of what's going on from my perspective. And I'm gonna reboot the Pi YouTube channel, so I will link that up. If you're not subscribed over there and you're kind of interested in what's going on with Pi, I'm gonna kind of do like a building it in the open kind of thing with Pi and keep you up to date on what's going on with it and what we're doing, and maybe for the vast majority of you, some of the history of Pi and what it did and what it became and where it failed and where we're hoping to reboot or rekindle some of the things that we do well in a way that it better serves the community and the community needs as they are today. So that kind of went off on a tangent. I apologize. I'll keep that stuff for the Pi channel from now on. But just so you know, if you're interested in Pi, go subscribe to the Pi channel. I'll quit overwhelming this channel. This is news. This is community recaps and community upcoming events. The Pi stuff will push off to other things. Okay, cool. Not written by me, written by my friends in our neighbors to the north, written by my friends in Seattle at GeekWire. They just went out and surveyed a handful of Seattle VCs about what they thought about 2025 and like where they're looking to invest, where they're looking for startups to prioritize, what they think about remote work, what they think is going to happen in AI. Just some, an interesting set of questions asked to an interesting set of people. They provided their responses. Why am I providing you detail on what Seattle VCs think? Well, that's a good question. A vast majority of the capital that is at work in the Portland startup community comes from Seattle. A lot of it comes from the Bay Area as well, and some of it comes from local investors, especially for companies that are showing significant traction or might be a little further along than, friends and family, angel, early stage kind of development. Like if they're on a venture path and demonstrating significant traction and generating revenue, then Portland investors are willing to engage there. But for stuff that's a little bit earlier, we tend to have to look outside the region. So I think it's important for you to understand what those investors outside the region are thinking. Thank you to our friends at GeekWire for capturing this detail so we can pay attention to it and be informed as Portland folks who are taking the train or the plane or driving up to Seattle to talk to investors up there. It's nice to know what that ecosystem is experiencing from a VC perspective. So again, happy 2025. I'm glad you're here. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you each and every week as we go through the news that happened in the Portland startup community, as we talk about things that are going to happen in the Portland startup community, and as the companies here and the organizations here continue to build on the momentum created in 2024. If you've waited this long in the video, thank you for staying here, but please let me know what you're working on in the comments. Be self-promotional. Share what you're building. Please, just comment so everybody knows what you're working on. We can keep an eye on it. I can help highlight it throughout the year, maybe connect you with people you need to talk to. But in order to do that, you have to put yourself out there. You have to get rid of this aggressive humility you have as a Portland startup founder. I love it. I love that you're humble, but you take a step and share what you're doing. Just talk about it. Just tell us. No one's going to make fun of you. We would love to hear what you're building. Please, if you're comfortable doing that, share a link, share some detail on what you're trying to accomplish in 2025 with your startup or other things you're doing in the Portland startup community, please share, and share alike. And we will, as a community, keep tabs on what you're doing and try and support you as best we can. Of course, we always appreciate hearing from people in the Portland startup community. If you're elsewhere and you want to chime in, that's fine. We're pretty Portland focused, but would love to hear stuff from throughout Oregon, Southwestern Washington. Like, all those things are good. Just please tell us what you're working on and tell us how we can be helpful. Okay? Cool. Welcome to 2025. Good to have you here until we get the chance to hang out again. And until my voice cracks one more time, please keep up the good work.